Louisiana state legislator was not excited about 50 Cent trying to invest in real estate in his particular area. I think it was a dumb move personally. Um, I don't know. I have my concerns. Let's talk about it. Let's watch the video and
50 Cent's interest in Shreveport property. As we've been following for the last week or so, KSLA's Miracle Garrett is in the studio tonight. She has a reaction to 50 Cent's interest from a Louisiana state senator from Shreveport. Miracle?
Today, I reached out to Louisiana State Senator Sam Jenkins and got a response about his concerns over 50 Cent's interest in Shreveport properties.
At any point, when the racket could stop and we could talk business, I'm here. I don't plan to go anywhere.
An article posted on the Baton Rouge website, The Advocate, this week said Louisiana State Senator Sam Jenkins had some concerns about 50 Cent buying or leasing too much of the city's properties.
I met with Mayor Arsenault back in October, and I have a letter here that talks about a number of different projects that are actually on the books that are going to need some assistance from the city, and maybe in many respects need some of the assets that may be available.
Just yesterday, 50 Cent posted on Instagram, quote, Sam Jenkins must not want things to turn around in Shreveport. Who would not want to do a deal to wait for an imaginary deal to come? Or maybe he just lacks faith in me, end quote.
Look, I don't think when you're talking about your future that there's anything imaginary about it. As I stated, we have other projects that are on the books. These are not imaginary.
One of the projects listed is the Red River Entertainment District and how it can develop as a point of interest for commerce, historical significance, and cultural experience.
that sounds imaginary to me. She said one of the plans on the books is the Red River Project and how it can develop. That sounds imaginary.
Senator Jenkins says he wants a professional group with a development plan.
And if Mr. 50 Cent Jackson has a plan and has the finances and has the skill set to implement that, I'm open to listen to it. As I said, this is not a personal issue with me. It's about business.
Senator Jenkins says he does not want anyone to think that he is standing in the way of progress in Shreveport.
When I'm talking about city assets, I'm talking about publicly owned, city-controlled assets. Now, I'm hearing all the racket out there about these investments with buildings and restaurants and things of that nature. I'm not against any of that. I think that's a good thing to do. I'm talking about publicly owned assets.
Shreveport City Council members responded to the statement from State Senator Jenkins. Council Chairman Alan Jackson said, the council consistently does its due diligence to ensure that any decisions we make are in the best interest of the city and its residents. Councilwoman Tabitha Taylor added, I stand in full support of the plans for G-Unit Productions. Jenkins says he doesn't want the city of Shreveport and city council members to receive backlash in this process.
My concerns, which I stand by, is simply that let's make sure that all of these projects are getting some attention from the city.
This is somebody who is old and out of touch with what's going on, in my opinion. Louisiana is one of the poorest states in the United States. Shreveport is a state that has economic issues. And in my opinion, I think that this state senator is somebody who is a little bit older, a little bit outdated, and he doesn't understand. He can't see the trees in the forest. He's like, man, there's too much forest out here for me to see any trees. He doesn't understand a business opportunity if it slapped him in his face. Of all the urban entertainers, black entertainers that you could say, hey, this person has a business opportunity for your community, what do you think? 50 Cent would probably be one of the individuals who I trust the most. I think he's one of the sharpest hip-hop minds with a business acumen who appears to be doing things the right way. I don't know. I don't know. 2024 between Diddy getting locked up and all sorts of stuff, we'll see. But he appears to do everything right. I think this senator right here is just kind of old, outdated, and is missing the buck. Business opportunities aren't always going to come in the form that he's used to seeing: restaurants and venues and grocery stores. Business opportunities may come in the form of other things, as in a production studio. It could be art expos and things of that nature. So I don't think that this dude is seeing a handwriting on the wall. If I was one of his constituents in Shreveport, Louisiana, I would actually be livid, because I think this is an opportunity that's right in front of him to bring economic input, economic resources, jobs, opportunities directly to the community. And he's not taking it, from my opinion, because of where the economic idea is coming from. That's actually kind of wild. It's kind of wild. It's kind of terrible. It's giving a vibe to me of like, bro, this isn't 1972. Okay, this isn't what you're used to seeing. What counts and qualifies as an economic opportunity changes over time. And you got to have the foresight to be able to see the writing on the wall to know that what was an economic opportunity in 1972 may not be one in 1999. What was one in 1999 may not be one in 2025. So I don't know. I just think this is an interesting story. I think it's a senator who actually may need some younger staff members to give him a little bit of insight. And businesses do that all the time. I don't know if you all recall, during the pandemic, a lot of churches went out of business. And you're like, man, how did all these churches go out of fucking business? What's going on? Why are these churches going out of business? Because a lot of churches had older people on their leadership board. And when it was time and no one could gather, it was churches out there who didn't know how to pivot from, we can't hold a physical gathering spot, so we have to do it over the internet. We have to stream it. We have to use YouTube. We have to figure out another way to collect these tithes and offerings. And you would see, I know where I'm at, you would see churches just going down one by one, boom, 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 collapsing. And I remember I talked with a minister at a church, and he was telling me about how his church had to provide funding to keep churches afloat during the pandemic. And he said the reason for it was because these churches had older people who didn't understand how to pivot. They were still trying to record sermons and sell CDs. Who the hell is selling a CD? Like, you should give that content out for free, because that content going out for free, if people like it, they're going to come in, they're going to rock with you. And I think this guy is one of them old ass deacons who just didn't know how to use Zoom, who didn't know how to use Zelle or Cash App, and couldn't figure out how are we supposed to get the payments or the offerings from the church if they aren't here to do it. But I think that's an interesting story. I don't know. It's terrible. If it were me, I would be all for it. I think 50 Cent is one of the smartest businessmen. He was actually on a video I did. Shout out to my guy Raising the Bar with Mar. Has a YouTube channel, and we did the top 10 hip hop entrepreneurs, and 50 Cent was definitely on that list. Definitely on that list.